Hi everyone, let's talk makeup, and today I want to talk about Morphe brushes. And here's the thing, I know that they are super controversial among some people online. Some people really have just been turned off by Morphe and the way that they have chosen to market their products, which is through influencers on social media, YouTube, Instagram. It gets to feeling like everyone's got a Morphe code. And everyone's always telling you about their Morphe code. I do not have a Morphe code. Obviously, I am not sponsored by them. I do not work with Morphe, nothing like that. But because I do live not very far away from Burbank, where they have their standalone store, it is somewhere where I have gone in and taken a look at their products and bought a few things. I haven't purchased a ton of Morphe products. And so I still wanted to do a review of the things that I have, because I feel like I have had a very varied experience when it comes to Morphe products. So first off, their brushes are one of the things that they are most known for. It's Morphe brushes. I don't think they were quite ready to blow up with eyeshadow and makeup the way they did, but they've done very well with it since then. So I have a couple of their brushes. I have a face brush and I have an eye brush. So the eye brush that I purchased was the M573 brush, and it's a blending brush. The face brush that I have is the Morphe M530 brush, and this is a contour brush. So as you can tell on here, hopefully you can tell on there, these are white bristle brushes. Right now they're dirty, so these have been used because I bought them months ago and I pulled them out to do this review, and wanted to make sure that all my thoughts and opinions on this were clear. So I've been using them all week. And here's the thing, right? They fray a little, and this is not unknown. Let me put this. This is not completely new. I've had other brushes that do this. As soon as I wash them, they totally fray, and the bristles or the brush itself becomes fluffier and sponged out, right? I do not mind that with the eye brush, because I feel like I do want something that's kind of fluffy in order to use in my crease. So that's what I use this brush for, and I find it to be very nice. Now I have other not so expensive brushes that have not done what this one has done in terms of fraying out. Let me just pull out a couple more here. So not all of them, right? A lot of them do fray out. Two that have frayed out for me were the Japanesque brush frayed out a little bit. So did the Sonia Kashuk brush, but a couple that did not were this one by, it's called Renewal. I think I purchased this. Oh yeah, this was at Rite Aid. This one didn't fray out a lot. These two, this one's from NYX. This one right here is the NYX brush. It did not fray at all. It maintained its shape even after, now I've washed it a ton of different times, and it has still maintained its original shape. The next one is this one by ColourPop. This one I haven't used as long as I've used some of these other ones, but still it has retained its original shape. So I do think they're really nice eye brushes at the drugstore that are not very expensive and don't fray out, don't poof, right? So those are my 2 cents on the brushes. At least on the eye brush. I've also got this face brush, as I said. This one is the one that's super annoying because when I purchased it, it was a lot more narrow and contained, and it seemed really perfect for contouring. I still use it for contouring. I'll show you what it does, but it's just a much wider kind of application. See? Like, it still gets the job done, but I wanted this one to be more narrow. I didn't want it so fluffy. Like, if I want a fluffy application, I have other brushes for that. I wanted something like this, but a bit bigger. This is a Makeup Geek brush, and this is a blush brush, but I like using it for contour. And I wanted something that was a little bit more comparable to that, and it's just because this one fluffed out. It just has not. So this one has actually been a disappointment in terms of that. I've seen online that this is a tendency within my Morphe brushes to kind of fluff out, fade out like this. and that's a bit of a disappointment. So one thing that I really did love was the Morphe sponge. This is the beauty sponge that they have. It's red. Mine is clearly used and it's dry. So when it's wet, it will expand here. It's really nice density. Like, it's not dense. It's a very fluffy brush when it is wet, and I really have been loving it for applying my foundation. And then I use the smaller side here to apply the concealer, and I really like it. My only complaint with this beauty sponge is that every single time that I washed it, and I've had it for months now, red dye comes out. And I know that this is just what happens when you have a beauty sponge with a color in it, but I've had the beauty blender, I have the Real Techniques, I have a couple of other beauty sponges, and yeah, a little color might come out when you first wash it, but not every single time you wash it does color come out. And I feel like with this Morphe brush, it looks weird when all of a sudden your sink is red. So not a deal breaker for me, because I think this is a really good sponge, but something to note: expect to get your sink all red. Alright, so the first thing I have here is the Morphe concealer, and mine is in the color Beige. It is what I'm wearing right now, and I do have it under a little bit of setting powder from this Marc Jacobs Highlight and Contour Duo. But I used the kind of banana color in that highlight contour duo to just apply right here, and then I just went very lightly. I don't apply a lot of setting powder. I don't think you necessarily even need to set it. This is a very dry formula concealer. Like, let me show you. So this is what the wand applicator looks like, but you'll see here that it is not the creamiest of concealers. It's kind of dry, and it's at first I thought I was gonna hate that aspect of it when I applied it on my under eyes, and I was like, whoa, this is a bit dry. I usually like something a little bit creamier in my under eye, but this actually has worked really well. Now, I do have really dark under eye circles, and this will not fully cover everything in the under eye, but it will cover most of it. It will highlight. As I said, this is what I have, what I'm wearing right now, and I think it did a really good job of highlighting, of covering up enough of my under eye circles, and it wears nicely throughout the day. Now, I do have fine lines in my under eye, and you can see my lines there a little bit. So this does not make my fine lines disappear. I don't think many concealers will do that. So it is a concealer that I very much like, enjoy. It's a good one in my book, and I do tend to be quite picky with my concealers. Alright, next beauty product here is the liquid lipstick by Morphe, and I have only one. It's in the color Phaty. I wanted to try the liquid lipstick formula, and here's the hand swatch of it. It is what I'm wearing on my lips right now, and it's a very decent, very kind of middle of the road concealer. Like, I wouldn't say this is one of my top liquid lipsticks, I'm sorry, but it's also not the most drying. It's not at the bottom of the list either. It's somewhere in the middle, because it is a very easy to apply concealer. It has this doe foot applicator that is pretty standard and very nice. It is a fully matte application. You can see there. So it's transfer proof, but it doesn't like suck all the moisture out of your lips, which, you know, some liquid lipsticks can really do. Some of the driest liquid lipsticks that I own would be like the ColourPop formula. Now, the ColourPop, like their original, when they first launched these liquid lipsticks, their original formula was super duper dry. The Morphe ones are not that dry. The Ulta concealers tend to also be a little bit dry. So do the Stila. The Kat Von D can be drying as well. Some that are not would be like the Ofra Cosmetics concealers. I find the Bare Minerals formula to be very nice, and the Galactic formula to be very nice. So this is not quite at that level, but it's like sitting right below it and above all those really dry concealers. So liquid lipsticks, why do I keep saying concealers? Liquid lipsticks. So this one in particular, Phaty, is a very nice color. I hate the name, but what are you gonna do? They do have a very nice range. When I've been in the store, they have a wide range of these liquid lipsticks, so I do think they're nice. I like liquid lipsticks. If you don't like liquid lipsticks, then maybe it's not the kind of formula you'd want to gravitate for in terms of liquid lipsticks. Alright, so lastly, when I went in store a few months ago, I did purchase the Prep and Set Makeup Setting Spray. And this, I guess I've had trouble keeping them in stock, and I can see why. It is a really nice setting spray. I do feel like it helps the longevity of my makeup throughout the day. I have 14+ hour days, and I think this has done a good job of helping my makeup stay on for that period of time. And before using this, I was using the Milani mattifying setting spray, and that one was good, but this one I feel is better. I think it does a better job of helping my makeup stay on throughout the day. Now I use this as a setting powder, setting spray, not as a primer, which I think you can do because it says prep. But yeah, the way I like to use it is I shake it and I spray it on my face, and the mister on this spray is really, really fantastic. Let me show you. It is just really nice. Whatever they did to this spray, like, everyone needs to do it because I feel like it is fantastic. Like other setting sprays that I've tried will sometimes squirt in a very weird way, and this one is just a fine wide mist. It's really, really nice. I think this is probably the best thing that I have from Morphe brushes. So I don't have any of their eyeshadows or any other products. Now, in order to have done a full Morphe review, this was probably, I would have had to have purchased some of their eyeshadows, but honestly, I'm not interested in their huge, palettes. The only one that looks a little bit more interesting to me is the Jaclyn Hill palette, and I haven't purchased it. I could go down to the Morphe store, or now you can purchase it at Ulta as well, and I almost thought about purchasing it with Ulta, but it is right up my alley. I like warm tones. I like those orangey brown tones that she puts in that palette, but I'm just not fully convinced, so I didn't pick it up. But I hear that formula is a little bit better than the regular Morphe formula, so for whatever it's worth. If you're going to buy from Morphe, make sure and use one of the codes. I know it can feel a little bit slimy, but just pick your favorite YouTuber and use their code, because you get a percentage off. And yeah, really, is for the percentage off. You are helping the YouTuber when you use their code, but it'd be silly to pay full price for any of these products when there's tons of codes out there. You can also use their code, the YouTuber codes, when you go in store. So I actually, I didn't know that, and I was overhearing people at the checkout counter talk about it, so I went ahead and used Jaclyn Hill's code when I did it. But I think what I would probably do now is look around a little bit and see if there's any codes from smaller YouTubers, and maybe that's the way to help them out, or anybody that might be donating to charity, things like that. I think that is a more guilt-free way of using a code and getting a little money off from Morphe brushes. So overall, I would say I liked quite a few of these products, right? I mean, I liked the liquid lipstick enough. I love the setting spray. I liked the concealer, though it's also not my favorite concealer in all the world, but it's a good one. The brushes were the things that were the most disappointing to me. And I don't know that I'm going to go back and buy any more brushes, maybe from some of the other lines, because they have so many different lines of brushes. I just don't know, because I've had better luck with other brush lines. But with the makeup stuff, I think they have some really nice products in there, and maybe at some point I will pick up some eyeshadow. I don't know. I can't say whether yes or no. But that is it for me. That's my review. Let me know what you think down below. If you have any Morphe brushes, have they just turned you off with their social media campaigns and with all the big influencers that they sponsor and get codes to? It's a healthy discussion to talk about those things, because it is one of the ways in which makeup companies get you to buy their things, is by using influencers and using these codes, hyping up products. And personally, I don't see anything wrong with it, as long as I know this is what's happening. And I've gotten very good now at figuring out what techniques companies are using to try to get my money. So I don't mind them using it. I just, where I get a little bit iffy, I think, is when I see people who are just getting into makeup, who kind of don't know what things to watch out for, and they're falling for some of these tricks. And, you know, nothing wrong with it either. You kind of have to do that in order to learn. But yeah, I don't know. That's just my 2 cents. Let me know what you think. I do think it's worth it to have a discussion about it, because we're all, you know, spending our hard-earned money on these things, and it's also interesting to see what different companies are doing to try to get our money. So that's my review. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.